Hello, my name is Clarence Haverson. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Guelph Trillium and one of this year's co-chairs of the Tour de Guelph. And I'm here today with Vicki from Chalmers Community Services Centre. And Vicki, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you do and what Chalmers is about?
Absolutely. My name is Vicki Olatanden, and I am the Executive Director of the Chalmers Community Services Centre in Guelph. And our passion and our vision, as well as our mission, is to ensure that we have a world without poverty, where communities are flourishing with dignity, respect, and there's food insecurity for all. That is our goal. And that is what we do. My role there basically is to ensure that that happens at the two sites that we have, which is Chalmers West, 577 Willows, and 41 McDonnell downtown.
So Vicki, food insecurity in our community is obviously a huge issue and huge concern. Could you tell us a little bit more about what Chalmers is doing to address food insecurity?
Well, what we've done is in collaboration with a dietitian, we've come up with a healthy food basket. So where there's fresh fruit, fresh produce, and a choice of groceries general groceries like rice and pastas and things like that, and of course, household supplies. So we put that together, and each week we allow participants or guests to come in and through choice, able to choose what it is they need for their families.
So this past year, you received funding from the Rotary Club of Guelph Trillium, in part raised by Tour de Guelph, to help enhance dairy options for your your families. So can you tell us a bit more about what that is about?
Yes, I don't know whether many people know that a 3-centimeter cube of cheese has the same amount of calcium as a glass of milk. Cheese is essential. It's essential for nutrition, especially for young children. And so to be able to provide cheese in this environment for many is difficult. For many families, cheese and milk, those basic things tend to go in favor of some of the more staple foods that they can that are bigger in quantity, as it were, so more carbohydrates and things like that. So we use the funds that were given to buy cheese to provide that calcium, as it were, nutrition for children. A lot of the families that come to Chalmers have young children, so it's just a household staple that needs to be there for health.
Well, we're really pleased that Tour de Guelph has been able to help support some of that.
Yes.
Is there any feedback you've received or any kind of stories you can share about some of the support or some of the families who received the support?
Well, yes, for many families, many people don't know that it's either food or rent. So in us being able to provide food, they can actually pay rent and stay in their homes. And the other day, a young family came in. It was just a mum who came in, and to see cheese meant pizza for her children. Mm-hmm. You know, oftentimes some of the families are unable to pay for pizza, obviously, when they go to go pick up pizza. So to be able to make it from scratch is a good thing, and to have the cheese to be able to do it is a good thing, and also to provide snacks for lunches. Oftentimes, kids will have things like a jam or something like that in their sandwiches, whereas now we could provide a more nutritional opportunity for them to have lunch at school, where they could have a nutritious lunch with cheese or cheese cubes or a cheese sandwich. And to many, that might not be a big thing, but to families families can have food but still be malnourished. Mm-hmm. So to be able to provide that form of nutrition that will allow our kids to think at school and play at school is huge. So that's been a huge thing for our families at Chalmers.
Oh yeah, it's certainly very important that people be nourished in everything, not just not just carbohydrates.
No, and like the calcium is nails, it's teeth, it's bones, those things, and those are fundamental to our health.
Approximately how many families would rely on Chalmers, or is Chalmers able to help? Do you have an idea of how many families you support?
Yes, I would say on a weekly basis, we're looking at between 250 to 350 families a week. Mm. That's the combination of Chalmers West and Chalmers Downtown. So those are the numbers you're looking at weekly.
What impact has COVID had on the work of Chalmers, and how have you sort of gotten through that?
Well, I have to say it's had a big impact on us, because one of the things that was happening prior to COVID was our coffee mornings. So we had coffee mornings on Mondays and Tuesdays, so we could actually interact and talk with our guests and understand where they were, so we could refer them on to other resources available in the community for them, depending, of course, on what their needs are. So for young children, for example, we could refer them to dentists and things like that. But right now, those conversations are not happening. So guests are coming in and they're getting their food, the food their families need, but no more than that. And so, of course, that reduces the amount of referrals that we can make to other services, of course, in the name of safety and based on the restrictions. So that Chalmers has been a community for many, especially for those who are actually homeless. To be able to come into Chalmers and have a cup of coffee and a snack and talk has been a big part of mental health for many. But that part of our lives has been taken away. So it's had a huge impact. The communication, the stories, the conversation, the opportunity to be able to provide help via other resources has been taken away. And that's a big part of us. That's been a huge, huge impact. Our numbers oftentimes, depending of course on the season, our numbers have gone down in some areas, but then of course they've increased in many. So we've had a lot more families in Chalmers West. And I have to say that there have been times when we've had more families than food, but we've been able to find a way to provide. And so of course our numbers have increased in many areas too. So yeah.
Yeah, and we all look forward to when we can be back to the community in its truest sense again. So
yes, many people don't realize as well that families where there were jobs, where mom and dad had a job, now they don't. Especially if they work in areas, in the service areas that have been completely shut down, where they've lost jobs, then regular families are falling below the poverty line. And we are seeing more of those.
So Vicki, many of the people watching this video will be either riders or supporters of Tour de Guelph. Yes. And what words would you have for those people watching the video?
First of all, I want to say a big thank you, because we are a village, and it takes a village. It takes everyone in the community to make, to look after everybody else. And I want to say thank you for what you do and what you continue to do. And I want to encourage you to continue to support organizations like Chalmers, not just Chalmers, but the family of organizations that deal with food insecurity. It's a big thing now. To see a father who was working his whole life all of a sudden has to come into a food bank to be able to feed his family is not a fun thing. But to know that we are there in this crisis is not going to last forever, but to know that we can fill in that gap. And it's organizations like yourself that make that possible. So I want to say thank you, and please continue to support our organization and organizations like us to continue to look after families in our communities, especially our children, because it's crucial to make sure that everyone stays healthy. And as we face this storm together, it will be over. At one point it will be, and in the meantime, we're going to look after everybody as best as we can.
Well, thank you, Vicki, and I know that'll help me as I'm on my own personal Tour de Guelph ride in June to have the energy to finish it. So thank you very much for joining us today and shedding some light on some of how Tour de Guelph support does help our community.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And I want to thank everybody for watching. So if you are taking part in Tour de Guelph, please stay healthy and safe and enjoy the ride. And we look forward to a great Tour de Guelph.
Safe travels.